Hello! Greetings everyone, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. This is a long time. I've been waiting a very long time to do this. Welcome to my first recorded playthrough of Darkest Dungeon. I have been wanting to record this for a very long time. I'm probably going to babble a bit now, but bear with me and I'll try not to make it too boring and dull. It would be very hard for me to overstate my love for this game. I was one of the original Kickstarter backers, I was one of the day one backers. I saw the campaign, I saw the original mock-up videos and demo stuff, and said to myself, you know what? I like the look of this, I like the sound of this, I would like this game to become a reality. I would like to play this game, and what's more, I would like other people to be able to play this game as well. So I put my money where my mouth was, I sat tight while the project ran, and in the end, I was rewarded. And you know what? Just like the developers, I thought, I think this is good, I think this is going to make it, but just like them, I don't think I predicted quite what a success it was going to be. When the game finally, like halfway through the actual campaign project, I was saying to myself, you know what, I really, really hope that the developers will let me record this game, put it up on my YouTube channel, my fledgling YouTube channel with virtually no videos on it. And you know what? During the campaign they said, yeah, it's totally fine if anyone uploads it or streams it, just get it out there, let people see it, show them how good the game is, and then maybe they'll go buy it for themselves. Or maybe they'll just watch you play it, And so I was like, oh wow, awesome! I can work out how to record the game and show it off to people, and yeah, I was rather naive then. God, it took me a while, didn't it? Anyway, so, yeah. Campaign ended, and I was quite happy. And when I got into the early access, I played the game a lot. Didn't want to record it because it was early access. I left it a while, left it a while, took a break, came back, took another break, came back again. You know how things go, right? And I just never really got around to recording it. And, just as I was getting ready to record it and show it off to the world, everyone else started streaming and recording it. And I was like, you know what? I don't really want to now. Well, I did want to, but it felt like, I don't know. People are being spoilt for choice at the moment. So I waited some more. And more. And then there were mods, and now we have the Crimson Court downloadable content. Expansion, I call it an expansion, it's technically DLC because it's a downloaded expansion, but I call it expansion, And I'd like to dive in to this game of Eldritch Horror. Before I go any further, I'd like to make it totally clear there are a number of important things we need to know going into this, right? Number one, I have not completed the game, right? I have not done a complete run through all the way through. Number two, I have racked up a grand total of 944 hours playing this game on Steam, but I still haven't completed it. Why is that? Well, mainly I'm going for the Old Road achievement, which means keeping the original Reynold and Dismas alive until the final quest, and sending them on that final quest together to end it all, what they started, the whole campaign, and it'll be glorious, it'll be amazing, it'll be brilliant if Dismas wasn't so shit and didn't get himself killed all the time. He's never made it past week 146. Because highwaymen are just terrible. But I'm going to try, and for this particular campaign, if one of them should perish, I think Reynolds only perished before Dismas once before, but if they should perish, I think I'll press on because I want to play the Crimson Court stuff, right? The Crimson Court adds some new things to the game. I'm going into this blind. Oh, right, so because I haven't completed the game, please, for the love of God, don't give me any spoilers in the comments section. I have a lot of theories about it, which I will be talking through when we get into the Hamlet and various things come up, that confirm my theories. Like, I think, I strongly suspect that the Oh, sorry, I'll say it now. I strongly suspect the caretaker is the ancestor in disguise. All he had to do was shave off his moustache and mess his hair up a bit, and it looks remarkably similar. I also suspect that the caretaker is the head of the evil cult, who is infiltrating the whole area, because what else could be stressing him out so much that he has to use the stress-relieving activities every week? Right? I suspect that the ancestor is not dead, and the caretaker is just the ancestor in disguise, and that the ancestor is in fact the big bad villain at the end of the game, who's responsible for everything. I suspect that the entire town is a trap, because heroes are lured there, and every hero who dies is a sacrifice to the great demon Cthulhu monsters that the cult worships, and that every cultist who perishes is likewise a sacrifice to the cult, and that the evil power is growing based on the body count and everything else. There's a few more things. And unfortunately today, someone on the Steam forums put up a post, just, fairly innocuous title, like, first sentence, they basically confirmed my suspicion about the ancestor being the villain. I was like, mate, you didn't even use spoiler tags or anything. What a twit. I do not have much respect for that person at the moment, I'm afraid. I've seen a screenshot of a party of heroes facing off against a blue ghost figure that looks like the ancestor, but beyond that, I'd like to find out the ending for myself. Oh, yeah, and my one other suspicion is that the introduction to the game, the very beginning, where the ancestor has tried to fix everything, and it's all gone horribly wrong, and he writes a letter to some distant relative to say, please, you come, you inherit this lot, sort out this mess, right? I don't think that's the beginning. I think that's the end of the game, right? Because that way, it's like the statue in town they build of the ancestor, right? Which looks exactly like the ancestor from the trailer. It's like, why would they build a statue of that guy? Surely they're building a statue of the new guy, the character I'm playing, who's running the hamlet, and who looks remarkably like the figure at the end. So, by that actually being how it ends, right, that allows the game to become cyclical, because you complete a campaign, realise you've messed it all up horribly, send off a letter, bring in a new character, start playing all over again, so you get to enjoy the game the whole way through. Because, that ties in with my idea of it being a trap, but it's luring you in, the trap is the actual town itself, and trying to fix it is the trap, right? So that's what I suspect. Please don't tell me in the comments section if I'm right or wrong on any of this. I would love to find out for myself. But hey, we have the Crimson Court DLC to play, and I have very little information about that. I mean, first off, Crimson Court, there's probably going to be some kind of vampiric thing, there's lots of mosquito things. I'm imagining lots of bleeding type attacks, infections of the bloody diseases, things that lower bleeding resistance, some kind of aristocratic controlling ability that makes the heroes bend to the will of the monsters, a bit like the Siren dominating people. Something like that, right? Those are things I'm expecting. I know there's going to be the Flagellant class, who actually has a lot of similarities to the Twilight Night mod that I'm working upon. She is likely to appear over the course of our campaign. I do use some mods, right? I don't use anything that changes the overall core gameplay. No pitch black dungeon, no trinket overhauls, no hero skill rebalances, right? I only use cosmetic mods that are hero reskins and a few custom hero classes. And specifically for this campaign, I will be using just the core classes and the new Fanatic Flagellant, who comes with them, and the Twilight Knight. A few others might occasionally appear in the Stagecoach because they're from old-style Nexus hard installs rather than workshop installs. But I think now it's worth watching the intro so we can see... I mean, no, you can go look up the intro yourself, but it feels worthy of respect. I would love to show it off. I think it's brilliant. I'll shut up while it plays and then we'll get back to it. Back to the action. I'll start up a brand new estate for you all to watch me play. And here we go. Okay, quiet now for the actors.
Ruin has come to our family. You remember our venerable house? Opulent and imperial, gazing proudly from its stoic perch above the moor. I lived all my years in that ancient, rumor-shadowed manor, fattened by decadence and luxury. And yet I began to tire of conventional extravagance. Singular, unsettling tales suggested the mansion itself was a gateway to some fabulous and unnameable power. With relic and ritual, I bent every effort towards the excavation and recovery of those long-buried secrets, exhausting what remained of our family fortune on swarthy workmen and sturdy shovels. At last, in the salt-soaked crags beneath the lowest foundations, we unearthed that damnable portal of antediluvian evil. Our every step unsettled the ancient earth. But we were in a realm of death and madness. In the end, I alone fled laughing and wailing through those blackened arcades of antiquity, until consciousness failed me. You remember our venerable house, opulent and imperial. It is a festering abomination. I beg you, return home, claim your birthright, and deliver our family from the ravenous, clutching shadows of the darkest dungeon.
And we're back. Wow, what a beginning, huh? Now let's go to start a new campaign. Of course I have some existing campaigns here. Don't worry about them. We're going to go all the way down to the bottom. Now, it's great we're allowed so many campaigns. This is what, 9 campaigns now? Originally we were only permitted to have 3 campaigns, but we will begin a new campaign. Now, as a Kickstarter backer, I do have access to the Musketeer hero class. She's a bit controversial. A lot of people complain that they don't have access to her. She was an exclusive character class for Kickstarter backers. Now, when the campaign started, the developers thought, okay, this game's going to be a kind of small indie game, not too many people are going to worry about it, it might not sell very well after release, we can afford to give away a hero class, right, a special unique hero class for backers. And that was awesome. Alright, then about halfway through the campaign, as they were doing quite well, some of the backers came to them and said, hey, you know what, a lot of people are going to find this very unpopular. They're going to complain, they're going to say, I don't have the Musketeer and I can't get the Musketeer, and that's actually going to hurt sales, right? And, well, not the Musketeer, because they didn't know what the unique backer class was going to be. They were like, this is an extra hero that other people can't get afterwards, and a lot of people are going to complain about that. And the developers said, well, okay, we're in a bit of a tough situation here, because we've promised an extra hero class, and we really wish we hadn't. We're regretting it strongly now, but we're not going to go back on our promise. We're not going to say, okay guys, look, we're scrapping that completely, because some of the people who've put funds in based on that hero class existing and who want it will feel hard done by and might pull their funding, and that's going to hurt our project, right? It means we might not get funded, might not be able to win the game, and we want to make the game, share it with you guys. So what we're going to do is create a reskin of an existing class that will have no unique gameplay elements whatsoever. All of the skills, all of the ways they act and interact with everything will be exactly the same as an existing hero class. And that way, people who don't have this hero class will have essentially the exact same experience of gameplay, right? Like team compositions, synergies with particular heroes, combinations of skills going off, 1, 2, you mark it, I shoot it, that sort of thing, right? So they gave us a little poll. They said, okay, look, here's 3 choices. Choice number 1 is going to be big, muscle-bound knight, evil knight in chainmail armor, big horny helmet, spiky shoulder blades, 2-handed axe. It's basically a Chaos Warrior, right? And he was going to be like a Crusader reskin. And I was like, yeah, okay, Crusader reskin. We've kind of got a lot of frontliners already in the hero lineup, so it would be nice to have the variety, but I'm not too fussed about it. And next up was the Musketeer. Big floppy hat, extravagant clothes, shoots things with a gun, and she's basically a reskin of the Arbalest, who shoots things with a crossbow. And I was like, yeah, okay, the guns don't really do it for me. There's a lot of guns in the game already, because you got like the Highwayman with his pistol and stuff like that. And I was like, I'm not too fussed about the guns, this isn't one for me. And then the third option was a wicked old woman who looks like a witch, who mumbles and curses people, and is an occultist reskin. And I was like, yes! That one's got my vote, right? Because, to my mind, out of those 3 options, we had enough frontliners already. As far as shooters go, we didn't have many, but we already had lots of guns in the game, we didn't really need another one. And then, as for healers and support characters, we had 2, right? 2 dedicated healers, essentially. That was the Vestal and the Occultist. And out of those, the Occultist wasn't really a dedicated support healer. So I was like, I want the Wicked Old Witch, right? And I put my vote down for that, and we all tallied up our votes, and I was like, you know what? I want the Wicked Old Witch. I won't mind if the Chaos Warrior guy gets in, but the Musketeer doesn't really excite me. And they counted up all the votes, and the Musketeer won, so I was like, okay, I don't get my Wicked Old Witch, right? It's a shame. But I'll live with it, because I still get this extra cool class to play with, and you know what? People have time and time again raised it on the Steam forums and said, hey, how can we get access to this class? When can we get access to it? Why don't we? All that stuff. And I would be totally fine with people having it, right? But some of the backers are not fine with it, and they're like, hey, you know what, guys, we don't want anyone else having access to this. We paid extra money for this. We deserve it, and this is our exclusive limited content, and we put in our money based on the promise this would be exclusive, and we want that promise to be kept. So it's kind of a 50-50 split, or I don't know what the actual split is between the backers, but I really don't mind. And if you're one of those people who is upset at not having access to the backer class, I hope that in my playthrough, when you see the Musketeer and you see the Arbalest, you'll see how similar they play and how mechanically they're exactly the same. The only real differences are the artwork, the sound effects, dialogue barks, skill names, trinket names, but apart from that, they're all exactly the same. And it's like, you know what? Those things are important. I appreciate the artwork, the sound effects, and everything else. It's polish, it's extra stuff, but please don't feel that you're missing out on any particular actual key part of the gameplay beyond some polish, because it really is the same. So now we have the Crimson Court. Crimson Court includes a whole extra dungeon full of stuff to go and do, and apparently it's a persistent dungeon, so you can go in, do a few rooms, come back out, and the next time you go in, dungeon layout's the same, those few rooms are in whatever state you left them, and you can do it incrementally over time, right? And that is fun, and I will look forwards to it. Districts. Didn't really know this was coming as part of the Crimson Court DLC. The district system upgrade your hamlet by building all new structures in addition to the original buildings. Right, I love upgrading the town. I methodically and slowly work my way through upgrading the facilities so the heroes can do better and better over time. And in fact, there's even an achievement for fully upgrading the town that I have never got, because on one particular campaign I was one town upgrade away from upgrading the whole town, when the developers added 3 or 4 more upgrades to the stagecoach, which would they allow you to get more experienced recruits. which kind of threw me off, and while I was working my way through them, Reynold or Dismas got killed, so I scrapped the save and started again, and I've never really come back close to finishing it off, but I've come very close on a few of my other saves. So now I get even more uptown upgrades to push resources into, and to be like, yes, I will do this, I need to get them all, right? I want to restore the town to its former glory. And then we have the Flagellant, a new hero class, who whips and beats himself and does horrible things, and has some kind of stress management things. And apparently, when he gets really badly injured and goes to death's door, he inverts the death door penalties into bonuses, and if he dies, it heals the party and stuns all the monsters. So he is an interesting hero to play with, for certain. And I'll look forward to finding out what he's like. So, apart from the Musketeer, all this stuff is new to me. I will absolutely accept all of these being enabled. Now, difficulty setting. Radiant it's not necessarily easier, but it is shorter. Alright. Darkest is the standard difficulty setting. Blood Moon. Blood Moon. Oh, it's Stygian and Crimson Core. Okay, so yeah, Blood Moon is the hardest difficulty setting. I've never played Stygian difficulty. I've played a bit of Radiant, and mostly Darkest. I mean, everything in Early Access was Darkest, and it's what I'm most used to, so I'm going to go with that. Purely because I'm not used to the extreme difficulty of Stygian just yet. Now, our estate shall have a name. It shall have a fine name, a glorious name, indicative of the terrible state it is in. It shall be the Brexit Estate. Oh yes. The Brexit Estate that once was ruled by fine aristocracy and nobility, but they were fooled into signing away their sovereignty to some foreign power, and only recently have gained their independence once more. However, this has left them in economic ruin, and it leaves just a barren wasteland of tumbled-down buildings and frightened townsfolk, with just a few brave heroes facing off against the evil overlords who have been oppressing them for so long. And without further ado, let's get into the beginning of the campaign itself. I've probably waffled on for quite a bit now. Let's see if the introduction now is a little bit different. The campaign intro not, but let's hope it's not, because it's kind of nice. I liked the old one. Okay, here we go.
You will arrive along the old road. It winds with a troubling, serpent-like suggestion through the corrupted countryside, leading only, I fear, to ever more tenebrous places. There is a sickness in the ancient pitted cobbles of the old road, and on its writhing path you will face viciousness, violence, and perhaps other damnably transcendent terrors. So steel yourself, and remember there can be no bravery without madness. The old road will take you to hell, but in that gaping abyss, we will find our redemption.
Redemption indeed. I'm so glad they didn't change the intro for this expansion. Oh, here we go. Back into the oh so familiar introduction. Oh, sorry, I clicked through a tutorial upkeep there. It tells us about using the map and travelling to the next chamber. Here is our terribly broken carriage. Actually, the coach driver bears a remarkable resemblance to the caretaker. It could be him who drove us here from somewhere. Now first off, this is not our Reynold. Number 1 is the familiar Reynold of old. Reynold is our crusader, a brave hero who has never, ever, ever played Dark Souls. I swear if I ever put Dark Souls footage of Dark Souls the computer game, not Dark Souls the board game, of me playing the Dark Souls computer games up on the channel, there will be swearing involved, and it will not be polite, it will not be pretty. I'm a terrible Dark Souls player, but I do enjoy it most of the time, except when it's frustrating, when I just swear my head off. So, our second hero is Dismas. And 4? No. So again, few hero rescale. Oh, wait, really? Okay, yeah. So number 1, the classic Dismas. Originally, the heroes only had 1 skin each. Dismas, the highwayman, who really needs to get better at surviving because he has a terrible track record. So my goal, ideally for this campaign, is for these 2 heroes to make it to the final quest and take down the evil boss at the end, and then I will get the achievement. On the old road, we found our redemption. Speaking of which, we are on the old road now, heading towards the hamlet.
Brigands have run up these lanes. Keep to the side path. The hamlet is just ahead.
Okay, hallway movement. We can use the A and D keys on the keyboard. I think we can also use the left and right cursor keys, or just use the mouse. Yeah, we can use the cursor keys. I tend to just use the mouse, just click and drag. You can play the whole game with the left mouse button.
In brutal fashion, that all may hear of your arrival.
Indeed, this brutal thug shall be dispatched. Slay the enemy, so combat is turn-based. On your hero's turn, click a skill icon, then click on your highlighted target. You can also use the 1 to 5 keys to select skills, which is why you can't use 1 to 4 to select party positions. If you can't select a particular skill, it's because the hero needs to be standing in a different spot, or there are no valid targets. Now so the skill to see the requirements. So you see here, each skill, underneath the skill there are some yellow dots and some red dots. The yellow dots are the party positions that the hero must be standing in to be able to use this skill, and the red dots are the enemy positions that the hero can target when using this skill. So we have Smite, it's a basic attack, just wallop something, particularly good against unholy foes. Zealous Accusation is a blast of righteous power that will strike at the 2 first front ranks. Stunning Blow. Bosh. Stun them. Yeah. And they've changed Bulwark of Faith. Uses remaining 1. Did they make it worse? Oh! Torch plus 20! They made it a good skill! They made it a good skill at last, so finally! Oh, yes! Oh, yes! So, Bulwark of Faith, my favourite Crusader skill, has been undervalued and barely worth using for such a very long time. It used to just be a protection buff, right? And then they changed it to protection buff and mark self and duration 2 turns, which was important because it went through, until your next turn, and then to the turn after that, right? 2 whole rounds until you'd taken 2 more turns. So it meant you could use it, set up for some protection, take a few hits, and then next turn do something else instead of just having to spam the same ability over and over and over again. And then they reduced the duration back down to 1 turn. It was like, bugger, but the torch plus 20? Right, so for those of you who don't know, this is our torchlight at the top of the screen. The torchlight is essentially our difficulty meter, right? The brighter the torchlight, the easier time we'll have of it, but the darker the torchlight, the harder the game will become. But the more rewarding it will become in terms of treasure we pick up, a few things like critical hits and stuff like that. So basically, if everything's going to pot, you can use Bulwark of Faith now to restore some torchlight and say, everyone, it's not so bad! Look, I'm a fucking hero! Behold the magnificent, glorious aura of light! We shall smite them! We are the flame, and the enemy shall fear us! And then a few rounds later we'll all be, we are not the flame! We are the moths! Flee from this terrible trap! See, we are not the flame, we are the moths, from, the original trailer. It's like, It's like the whole thing with like the, swarthy workmen and sturdy shovels. Is that just a veiled reference to the heroes and the supplies we have? I think it is, but wow! Yes, so Bulk of Faith is a defensive ability which now has limited uses. I don't know if the uses remaining will increase as I improve the skill over time, but I am so pleased that this skill is finally worth using again. But for now I'm just going to try and chop him up with a big sword. Whack! That's about half his health. Alright, so Dismas, the Highwayman. He has Open Vein, a savage cut that attempts to draw blood and a wound that keeps on bleeding. It's a slow bleed, right? Pistol shot. Bang! Shoots his gun, right? Simple enough. Works extra against marked targets, but marking is something we'll come up to in the future. Right, grape shot blast, group shot. Shoot them all, right? Not as accurate, not as much damage, because you're kind of spreading it. And then, tracking shot uses remaining 1. Oh! Is each hero going to get a uses remaining 1 thing now? Like the Abomination? That will be interesting. So it's basically having a skill with only 1 use per combat really makes you want to not hotkey it, because you'd rather use something you could use every round, right? I wonder if they've increased the effectiveness of the skill to compensate for the limited uses. Interesting. Well, for now, I'm going to try and cut him and make him bleed. This brigand cutthroat has encroached upon our lands. We shall make him know the error of his ways.
Confidence.
Oh yes!
The enemy crumbles.
Destroyed! And of course, plunder and loot. Each item, if you take it, will occupy space in your inventory. Mouse over items to show details about them. This works in your inventory too! Press circle button to close this window. I'm not... It turns on the stupid console controller thing by default, doesn't it? Let's take that money. Game options... Control options... No, I've left it turned off, so it's just got into the tooltip. Yeah. Right. Gameplay, turn off deck-based stagecoach. It is the most horrible thing ever. I know it's one of the options, but I'm not a fan of it. I don't even know if you can see the option menu or if it's just hidden at the moment. But anyway, leave that exactly as it is because I want my achievements. Damn it! Right. Absolutely save these changes. Yes. And return to game. Right, sorry about that. I wasn't expecting those things. Interactive objects. While exploring, you will often find interactive objects. Click or press W to investigate them. Take a look at this tent. I shall take a look at this tent with my Crusader, as you are blatantly hinting at the tooltip here. What's in the tent today? Someone has indeed left valuables in the tent.
There is much to be found in forgotten places.
Oh, I'm sorry. I need to remember to not speak over the narrator because I really like his voice acting. Also, if with the aid of the modders I eventually get to put together a Crusader voice pack, I will totally bloody do that. I will sit in front of this microphone and record every single one of the Crusader lines of dialogue, but we can't play sound effects when a character says lines of dialogue. We can play sound effects when like events trigger or a hero uses a certain skill or stuff like that, so I don't think I can do a Crusader voice pack. I would love to do a Crusader voice pack. I really would. Onwards, through this door bearing the emblem of our great house, our once great family.
An ambush. Send these vermin a message. The rightful owner has returned, and their kind is no longer welcome.
Alright, so what we have here is a big man with a cat o' nine tails and a pistol. His damage isn't necessarily as high as you'd think. He's mostly about spreading bleed attacks across the entire party. And a man with a fusilier. A man with an arquebus, by the look of it. Or, no, it's more of a blunderbuss, really, isn't it? Yeah, blunderbuss, he just blasts like the Highwayman's grape shot. Essentially, he'll be hitting everyone all the time, he'll be doing slow bleeds. Their goal is to try and get us down to death's door and and bleeding at the time, so they can just keep hitting and destroying us. Our goal is to prevent that from happening. So this fellow at the back with the big gun needs to be put out of business. And he dodges it, of course. I should have used the aiming shot. Right, let us try to stun this ruffian. Please. Stunned! Oh, there is a chance. Reynold, why did I ever doubt you? So he's recovered from his stun. He gains a bonus to stun resistance just to prevent me from stun locking him every round. In the meantime, let's use this tracking shot. Bonuses look about the same. Oh, point blank shot. Don't go back, don't go back. Ah, point blank shot has a potential knockback effect and possibly a stun effect as well. We need to keep Dismas in the back here. In the meantime, let's get some damage on this fellow. It's not much, we're going to bleed him down in the end. But for now, we're focusing on the man at the back who needs to be slain. Alright, I'm going to try a stun again. This is a massive gamble. It worked! Hooray! Now, shoot him down! It's a start. Okay, it's a start. I can probably get him with a group shot next round. And here comes that great shot for the group shot targeting. Oh! All the misses. All at once. Why, oh why, oh why? And is it a bleed? He's bleeding! Ah! I bleed! Is this all my blood? Yeah! Yeah, take that, bloodletter. Now, bleeding does stack up rather nastily, so... Grape shot, yes!
Destroy them.
So now we have a corpse. I spoke with the narrator again, didn't I? Sorry, I'm just so excited! I mean, there's going to be Crimson Court and everything! I'm like, oh you guys, I'm going to play it! It's going to be brilliant, it's going to be fun! I really just need to shut up and be a bit more of a grown-up, don't I? Or maybe not, we'll see. Right, when most monsters die, they leave corpses. Corpses act as temporary obstacles and will eventually go away on their own. You can attack corpses to destroy them faster, but often a better approach is to use range skills, push, pull skills, and even corpse clearing special skills that some heroes possess. Monsters killed with bleed, blight, or crits leave no corpses at all. That's not entirely true, sometimes they do, but generally they don't. So he's bleeding here for at least one more round, that's not great. Essentially, we have a corpse at the back now. Sometimes, corpses are actually advantageous. Let's say I have a hero at the back who can make ranged attacks and shoot the back, but can't do much against the front. And I kill the guys in the front, there's an enemy at the back, and I'm like, my guys in front can't reach the back now, but guess what, this hero at the back can't do anything else, so sometimes you want to keep some enemies alive at the back, but generally the ones at the back are the high priorities who need to be taken down fast. So, speaking of being taken down fast, let's try and slice this knave. Make him rue the day he crossed us. Oh! Oh, more bleed. Villain! Taste thine own medicine! I can leave bleeding wounds as well!
Prodigious size alone does not dissuade the sharpened blade.
Oh! A valuable ruby, a great prize indeed. So now we have completed the tutorial quest, right? Completing a quest. After you've completed the requirements of a quest, you have the option to return to town at any time. Just click the crest. You don't need to return to the starting room for dungeon or exit. Right, reason that sentence is there, in early access, you had to make it back to the starting room of the dungeon to exit. Yeah. So for people who say it was easier in early access, in some ways it was easier, in other ways it was harder. So we can leave and return to the town, well, visit the hamlet for our first time, or continue adventuring. I'm going to click continue just to show you people something. I'm going to click on this. This is the bandit's trapped chest. Something doesn't look quite right with this one. I could try to open it, or I could say, the clue is in the name, guys. I'm not going to open that, okay? It would teach me about traps on chests and stuff. It's part of the tutorial. But I'm like, it says trapped. Like, if it says locked chest, I'll use a key. If it says trapped chest, I will be like, do not go near the trap. You know, do not touch it. So I'm going to go back to town now. To the hamlet! Prince of Denmark, this is not. Wait, is that just one? Oh no, nine. Okay. So, some money. Ah, the hamlet, the centre of our adventures. Ah! So they've each gained a resolve level. This makes them better equipped to cope with the stresses and ordeals of the adventuring life, but not particularly better warriors or tougher. Right? They don't get more health or anything, they just get better resistances, can cope with stress better, things like that. And Dismas has gained Lygophobia. Is it Lygophobia or Ligophobia? I suspect it's Lygophobia because it's probably Greek or Latin. It's medical, it could very well be Greek. So he is afraid of the dark and gets more stress if a torchlight is low. And balanced. He is now better at resisting enemy skills that would move him to different positions in the party. That's a good quirk, perk, trait, whatever you want to call it. I don't know if it's worth keeping. Let's go to town.
Welcome home, such as it is. This squalid hamlet, these corrupted lands, they are yours now, and you are bound to them.
Alright, so here we have the weekly report of what's gone on. They have successfully escorted me, the ancestor, well not the ancestor, sorry, the inheritor, to the estate. They each gained a level. We have quest goals here. They're quite simple. They're just basic achievements to do. Here we have some poor, deranged individual poring over some old documents, trying to make sense of the terrible state of this all. I think he's the caretaker, but I'm not quite sure, because I think the caretaker has a more yellowy beard, less brownish, but anyway. Okay, get help where you may. On any screen in the game, press and hold H to see contextual help for controls in that mode. Try it while in town, exploring, fighting, camping, and more. Basically, it's a help menu, right? I'm not going to go read through the whole help menu or anything, but here we are, help menu for town, you know. So, we have two heroes, and we have the stagecoach, and where are the extra things I can build with Crimson Court stuff? Where are the districts? Where are they? Wait, what's this? Districts are locked. This is for districts, isn't it? This will be like a go look at districts map. I get like different town scenes. Whole different town scenes! Wow! Okay, let us examine the stagecoach and see which heroes will be available for us on our first outing. I'm telling you now, we're still technically in the tutorial until we've done our first proper dungeon run, so I'm pretty sure I know who's going to be available.
Women and men, soldiers and outlaws, fools and corpses. All will find their way to us now that the road is clear.
The stagecoach is your hero lifeblood. You'll need to recruit all of these heroes to fill out a party of 4. Drag and drop them into your roster. Now, I'm going to be renaming these, okay? Since this is the Brexit Estate, it would be very tempting to have a party with Nigel Farage, the Crusader, out in front, Boris Johnson, the Jester, evil Michael Gove, the backstabbing highwayman waiting to stab them on the back with his dagger as soon as their backs are turned, because he's Michael Gove, and Theresa May is a kind of faithless, flip-floppy Vestal who can't make up her mind and keeps saying she wants a strong and stable party formation, a strong and stable party composition, and it's very important to get on with the job. And running through fields of wheat once when she was very, very young. But no, that would be taking the joke a bit too far. It's the Brexit Estate, guys. It's not the Brexit Cabinet or anything, you know. So who have we here? As you see here, skin 18, not skin 4. So the Vestal Virgin is basically a sister of Sigmar. You know, she's a priestess. I have some old outdated skins here and some more recent ones. We'll use this one. And she shall be named Velia Brescian. Velia had a rather sheltered childhood. She didn't get out much, didn't get to meet other people, and sought solace in her faith, and eventually entered into the church because she had comfort and ease of faith. Now, because of her sheltered childhood, she's kind of like that person who's on the edge of the conversation, desperately trying to get involved, but not quite plucking up enough courage to make herself heard. So she does end up often playing a more supportive role. And of course, Mercurial! I should have just called her Theresa May after all. Fated? Maybe interesting. Not a bad selection of skills there. Probably best in position 2 or 3, but yeah.
A sister of battle, pious and unrelenting.
And now we have a Plague Doctor. Now, a lot of people assume the Plague Doctor is a man and overlook these knockers on the front of her dress. You know, these tits, right? It's a woman, guys. Just hate to break it to you. I mean, great big beaky mask and everything, yeah, sure, makes it hard to tell, but, I mean, the shape, the way the knees bend and the way she walks, it's a woman. You know, even the developers have said she's a woman. Let's call her Fennel. It's a nice plant name. We're going to change skin. It's one of the core original 4. We can stick with that for now. That's a pretty good starting skill selection. Wait, are any of these used once? No, okay.
What better laboratory than the blood-soaked battlefield?
Upgrading the stagecoach. I will absolutely upgrade the stagecoach, don't you worry. While you're here, spend some of your starting heirlooms on upgrading the stagecoach network. This will increase the number of heroes available here in the future. To upgrade, click the plus symbol on the left and then click the upgrade. Damn it, man! You can do this! So I'll just open up the upgrade menu. Right, stagecoach network. The more I put into this, the more heroes will be available to me each week to draw from. It helps to get lots of heroes coming in early on, so that you can have greater variety of choice in the kinds of heroes available to you. Hero barracks. But the bigger this is, the more heroes I can have in town at any given time. Because, you know, accommodation, guys. They need to live and eat and sleep somewhere, you know. Experienced recruits. This is the new one that denied me the complete town upgrade achievement some time ago. Basically, this allows for more experienced heroes to turn up, but for now, we'll just have these starting 4. Now here we have the Ancestors' Memoirs. I'm not going to embark. Okay, embark. There isn't much more you can do in town right now. It's time to embark on a quest. Click on the embark button at the bottom of the screen. I shall do that absolutely, but first I'm going to have a look at these. We have the Ancestors' Memoirs, which for now we have to kind of recover them and uncover them over time. But
in time, you will know the tragic extent of my failings.
so from this menu we can rewatch any cutscenes, any like intros, any videos we've uncovered, so like from bosses, end game quests, things like that. At Crimson Court even. Burn the Hives, that sounds bad. Dismiss the Baron. Who's the Baron? Is it? Wait. So part 1 is Explore. This is part 1, this is part 1, this is part 1. Okay, so I'm assuming the Baron, the Viscount, and the Countess are all going to be boss monsters, right? Part 2, Burn the Hives. That's going to be some kind of special quest. The Darkest Dungeon. And the Epilogue. Collected journals. So we can collect journals over the course of the campaign. They will go down here. They were written by Kickstarter backers under the guidance of the developers to make sure they fitted in with the theme of the game. They are beautiful bits of extra content. They don't really add much to the game, but they're nice, they're flavourful, and I will absolutely be reading them as I gain them and trying to piece together. I mean, I think I've gained all of them before, but I'm gonna try and piece together the mystery of things that happened in the past. Because that way madness lies. And if yeah, it's a dark, eldritch, horrific game, so we have to totally go with all the tropes and get stuck in there and read these maddening testaments. Yes, testaments. The graveyard, where the fallen heroes shall be interred.
Most will end up here, covered in the poisoned earth, awaiting merciful oblivion.
So here we have this caretaker again. I'm going to endeavour to allow none of my heroes to shuffle off into the graveyard. I'd like to try and keep as many alive as possible. But if someone really good dies, it's worth letting a few more die to make sure there's at least 3 in the graveyard, because of something very special that can happen later on, where occasionally, just very rarely, they can come back from the dead. It's pretty rare, but it's brilliant when it happens. Now we shall embark.
A mecca of madness and morbidity. Your work begins.
Quests and parties. This is where you select a quest and form an adventuring party of 4 heroes to embark upon it. Not on it, embark on. Should we embark upon? But anyway. Right. Click on quests to see their details. Drag heroes into slots at the bottom of the screen to form your party in default party order. Currently there's only 2 quests available. There is this quest in the ruins, which is the last part of the tutorial, or there is the darkest dungeon. I ain't gonna go there, alright? I am not gonna be fool enough to send my heroes in there alone this early on. They'd die. Okay, they would just die. They could actually take the first encounter there, but they would get seriously stressed out. Second encounter would be too tough for them and they'd have to fall back, and then it would just all be horrific. So let's just do the intro tutorial quest, get out of the tutorial, get into the game proper, and enjoy. I see the courtyard is up here, luring me with its padlock and its restriction, damn it! Oh well, you know, fingers crossed. Let's arrange our party. So she wants to be in position 2 or 3, probably position 3 for the big heal. She wants to be in position 3 or 4. Yeah, the knife isn't free, so let's just... The knife's her least valuable skill at the moment, unless I go for a front rank Plague Doctor knife stabby attacky slash build, which can be done, but it's a very specialised build, and let's go for a fairly standard party layout for now. Right, so here we have the Red Hook party layout, the one from the original trailer. The usual suspects. It's the same heroes again, just arranged in a slightly different formation. The party formation names are to help you remember any particular favourite formations you like. They don't give you anything special, they're just like a, hey, it's this collection of heroes again thing. The backers came up with a lot of the names. If you ever find the party formation Vengeance Dire, that was actually mine. It's something like Hellion, Crusader, Vestal, something else in the back I can't remember. I know the Man-at-Arms and the Arbalest hadn't been released yet by that point, otherwise I would have had a very different favourite party. But anyway, yeah, it was an abbreviation for Vengeance Dire Falls From Above, which actually was a misquote from The Horse and His Boy, the Chronicles of Narnia book 3, where the actual line should be, the bolt of Tash falls from above! Anyway, we have a tutorial quest to be getting on with, so let's do that. It's actually quite ironic what happens when the bolt of Tash falls from above, but if you don't know yet and you want to know, go read The Horse and His Boy. It's a great book, brilliant. I don't know why the Americans haven't made a film of it yet, because it's one of the Chronicles of Narnia. Actually, I don't think the BBC TV series years ago covered it either, but I'm babbling. Onwards! To tutorial stuff.
The cost of preparedness, measured now in gold, Later, in blood.
Provisions. What was my mouth doing there? Okay. Provisions for the journey. You'll want to take different supplies depending on what region you are going to, how long the quest is, and your own preferences, but always bring some food and torches, and bandages, and shovels. For your first short quest, try bringing at least 8 food and 4 torches. I will bring 8 food. I'll bring 4 torches. I'll bring 2 torches more. I'll bring 2 bandages, 2 shovels. What is this? Laudanum. Laudanum was something people used to use from like the Napoleonic period up to the Victorian era to help them sleep if they were having problems sleeping. It's basically opium, right? I don't really want to... Oh, so it makes them chilled out and not so susceptible to stress. Okay. Yeah, there's probably some kind of downsides though. I'm not going to take a lot of that on my first mission. It is the ruins, so I'll take an extra vial of holy water. I have anti-venom. Oh, Crusader brings a bottle of holy water. Plague Doctor brings a bottle of anti-venom. A few heroes bring a couple of supplies with them every time. They're like, hey, I like bringing this with me. I'm always going to bring one of these on a mission. Never leave home without one. I'm going to take 1 bundle of those. Is it 1 or 2 keys for tutorial? I can't remember. I'll go with 1 key. Just in case there's a treasure chest, because there's a treasure chest in the tutorial dungeon. It might even be 2, but I'll just leave it at 1 for now. And in we go. And if you're wondering how I know so much about the tutorial mission, just remember, I've racked up 944 hours and still not finished this bloody game, so I think I'm quite familiar with the tutorial mission now. And hopefully, sometime after the tutorial mission, I'll begin to get Crimson Court content seeping in to the hamlet, and it will be awesome. Might take a few episodes, though. I love this smashed-in door, by the way. They've just, like, beaten their way in, and they're like, yeah, we're going in there. We're totally going in there. So... the tutorial dungeon is now a set dungeon. It used to just be a short dungeon in the ruins. Now it's a set dungeon with a set layout and set content. So I'm a little bit more familiar with it, but you know what? After this week, it is totally open, full-on gameplay. We have to do a few quests to unlock the stuff in town, but onwards. It's too quiet. There must be some kind of foes lurking up ahead in the dark. What are you talking about? I'm a highwayman and I'm an idiot and I just want to get killed because that's what we do. Shut up, man! Pull yourself together, you're going to be tough, damn it! Ugh! And he just, like, nuts for support there. The torch holder just headbutts it with his helmet and he's like, there, see? Did that hurt me? No! Now let it not hurt them. Let it not hurt you when they bash you in the head as well. Be a man, damn it! What am I doing? Right, I'll light another torch because Reynold has Warrior of Light, so he deals an extra 10% damage if the torchlight is above 75%. Now, when you look at the torch lines, we have 25, 50, 75 and 100. Every black line is a 25-point divider, which is a very good visual shorthand for keeping track of your torchlight, by the way. Oh no! Skeletons? With clubs and rags? They must be unholy abominations! Let the light of the true faithful shine down upon them.
The match is
Oh yes, yes,
a
there we go.
blazing star is born.
Okay, so that's minus 20 dodge, but they had no dodge value anyway, they just basic monsters, so shoot one at the back.
Another abomination.
Oh yes.
From our lands.
Throw some poisonous acidic gunk. Blah. I'm melting. Right, sword to face. Skull cleaver.
Executed with impunity.
Executed with impunity indeed, my dear narrator. I really need to stop the interruption there. See, I play the game, I love the narrator, I'm used to him, and I'm used to thinking my thoughts as I play the game, not used to saying them out loud while having to dodge them at the same time. There's a chest here. An unlocked strongbox. Now I could use the key, but it says unlocked, so I'm not going to. Lovely strongbox sits on a cold stone floor, its contents unknown. See, the curio name for something you can interact with, and the description often gives clues as to its purpose. As we will no doubt see further down the line, the contents are yours.
Glittering gold, trinkets and baubles, paid for in blood.
Another shovel, an onyx, black like endless night. Sorry, I just can't do the American accent. And 500 gold crowns for realm. Yeah, they're not worth as much these days as they used to be. You know, there was inflation and then the whole economy collapsing thing. It's going to take a while for us to build this up again, but we can do it. Maybe, in theory, perhaps, who knows? Let's find out together. You'll notice that I keep zooming back in on the map. Around this size is comfortable for my eyesight, maybe about that size. We can get like a box of 9 on the screen with more rooms around the side. And I don't like the way it zooms out to show the whole dungeon, because on long dungeons it can actually zoom out so small to where like the room icons are tiny and it's annoying and I have to zoom back in again. I don't know why they do that now. They didn't used to. They used to leave it at whatever value you had it set on. And it used to only recenter when you pressed the... default button. Okay, that's interesting. I don't think I've ever used that button before. I think it was there before, I just don't think I've used it before. Right. We have a pile of rubble. Blocks the hallway.
Even the cold stone seems bent on preventing passage.
So this is the main reason shovels come in useful. Let's lend ourselves to back-breaking labour, clearing that rubble so we can move on. Oh look! Skeletons of a hallway! And a cultist acolyte who's going to chant at us maliciously, and I'm going to try and shoot her. High priority target! Acid! Gonna hurl a plague grenade full of foul-smelling, noxious, acidic vapours and gunky... Blah! That's good. So, enemy attacks continue. Oh, and they keep going, okay. So, Blight is what I would call a slow bleed. It's a damage over time effect. So, Blight, Bleed, there might be a new one now with Crimson Court, I don't know. But basically this is, you're going to take this much damage over this much time, you take it slowly, you're melting, you're on fire, you're bleeding, could be anything, right? And in her case, she's got 4 health left, but she'll take acid damage next turn, or poison damage next turn. These skeletons are not immune to Blight. They will absolutely... So it can't be poisoned, it's more like... Well, it can be... It's more like a kind of acidic poison or something that eats away at their bone marrow and destroys them, right? You'll see that our heroes, they have a life bar, a stress bar. The little golden line there means this hero still has a turn this round. This number up here, round 1. It'll change to round 2 in a few minutes. So, Velia. 18, 20, that's 5, that's 7. I'm going to go for a group heal. Just spread the love. And then Reynold. Okay. Can take him out in theory, can take him out reasonably with the Holy Blast. It'll be a stretch to take them both out, so I'm just going to go for the safe shot for now.
Be gone, fiend!
Oh, I should have gone for the one in front. Speaking of one in front, let's loose a noxious blast in his direction. Because, poison, acid.
Great is the weapon that cuts on its own.
Melt the flesh from his bones. Is that a stun? That's not a stun. Okay. 5, 3... Let's go over 1 instead of each. Dagger! Hey, skeletons don't bleed, okay?
Slowly.
They have very high bleed resistance. I've only made skeletons bleed on
taken.
2 separate occasions, and I should have just shut up and let the narrator speak their shit. Like, damn it. Well, there's some treasure. Jade, dull green, like rotting flesh. And there's me thinking it might be too the green of envy they could have used a description that way. Torchlight, and the doorway. Right, we have 2 directions we can go now. I'm going to take this direction, head on up the hallway, see what we find. Oh look, there's a pack on the floor. Another key, and onyx. So, what the starter dungeon is, it's a set layout. The contents of the containers and the treasure rewards from the fights is not set. That's random. Another door. I'm going to light a torch. Puts us on 86. We're fine. And it goes down immediately because torchlight goes down over time to 80. Oh! So we were surprised. This has shuffled the party marching order and ruined our day. Let's just play grenade. The Acolyte is a high-risk threat because she adds stress to our party members and makes them less capable. Oh, and a bleeding attack. So the Cultist Brawler, he slices with his big claw blades there and makes people bleed, whereas she stresses people out and can reposition people with some pulling and pushing attacks, which are magical and horrific. But she's going to get shot. Oh yes! Critical! And the poison kicks in and she dies! Oh, you beauty! I'm just enjoying this too much, aren't I? I really am. Well, it's time for old Reynold to begin his relentless advance towards the front. Bandaging. Your hero is bleeding. If you wish, you can use a bandage from inventory. From your inventory to stop the flow. Right-click on the bandage while it's the injured hero's turn. She will absolutely bandage herself up a bit because it hurts, right? And it's going to get worse. And she's actually going to back up a little. So this skill here is repositioning the party. It lets a hero put himself in a more valuable position. And we have more bleeding now. Great, just great. Party heal. Because we had
is a rarity in the fevered pitch of battle.
Because we had hurt at the back. Let's make this bleeder bleed. He can make us bleed, we can make him bleed as well. And then throw a noxious blast at this skeleton here, this bony soldier. Risen from foul necromancy. It must not be allowed to continue its existence. Still can't do the American accent. Please don't make me try. Let's fling more venom. Single target heal.
A momentary abatement.
And he's just gonna use a bandage before I forget. Then scoot back to safety. What's that? That's extra stress.
A death by inches.
That's lucky because I'm out of bandages. But I'm not out of sword attacks. Which can miss. Party heal because 3 people are wounded.
A momentary abatement.
Knife to throat.
As the fiend falls, a faint hope blossoms.
Ooh, another critical blow.
Remind yourself that overconfidence is a slow and insidious killer.
Yep, I should totally not get overconfident. It is the downfall of many a campaign. The busts are a resource that is used in town to restore the town to its full glory. I forgot to upgrade the bloody stagecoach, didn't I? I'll do that when I get back to town. That was me saying, I will totally upgrade this, and I didn't. But at least I noticed, eventually. We have a treasure chest here. We will open the aforesaid chest with a skeleton key. That's a lot of gold. And a citrine, yellow like fading hope. Time to return to the map, and we're going to come back down this way because I can loop around, go to here, and come back around like that. It's only 90% of rooms, and it does round down, so on a short run that's basically ignore one room, on a medium run ignore two, on a long run ignore three, but I'm going back, and I believe when you're treading over familiar ground, the torchlight goes down a little bit slower. Because we're going a bit faster, we know where we're going, right? We know the layout, we're not too worried about corners and stuff, bumping into walls. I like the candles on the barrel there, that's great. 75, yes, light a torch, please.
The light, the promise of safety.
Okay, so to light torches, you can right-click on a torch, click on the torch up here, or press the letter T, because T is for torch. There are some keyboard shortcuts. In the sack, we have some holy water and some more busts. You tend to get a lot of busts in the ruins. Now, Reynold has the kleptomaniac quirk. I'm not going to let him have that for very long. He is going into therapy as soon as possible to alleviate that quirk. It normally acts up at least once in the tutorial dungeon to make you aware of it and the fact that heroes can have negative quirks. It hasn't yet. I'm quite pleased with that. God-fearing, he'll only pray for stress relief. He's a religious character, he's a crusader, that's totally fine, right? We can manage that. Warrior of Light, it might actually be good enough to keep purely because the final quest is going to be so hard that taking enough torches to have a consistently high light level might actually be the best way to handle the situation. Right. And we will 76, yeah, okay.
As the light gains purchase, spirits are lifted, and purpose is made clear.
I was checking which side of the line it was there, because it was almost worth using a torch. I was like, you know what, it's for tutorial dungeon, let's use a torch, because normally I'd go in there, fight a round or two of combat, then use the torch, but what the hell. That was overconfidence right there, and you should not be overconfident. There's a crossbowman, and there's a skeleton, a bone arbalist. Because he has an arbalest. And someone who uses an arbalest is an arbalist or an arbalest. They're both actually correct. It's a giant crossbow, and it's not a healthy thing to be on the receiving end of. Let's take that tracking shot. The tracking shot doesn't mark the target, but it sets him up. He's basically doing a rangefinder shot, you know, assessing everything, and he's just like taking a shot while he's taking it all in, preparing himself to fight a bit better for a while. Apparently now that skill is going to be unavailable and grayed out. That's a bummer. Let's throw some blinding gas and go for the stun. At low levels, it always feels so rewarding when you pull off a stun attack. And that's because at the medium and high levels it's actually pretty difficult. So at low levels, when you do it more often, it's like, yes, I'm stunning them again! Speaking of stuns, let's try one more stun. So I'm going to do some healing here. An important thing about the healing in Darkest Dungeon is you cannot out-heal the enemy damage unless you get lucky or stun them all or something. Essentially, the monsters will always do more damage than you can heal. So then, of course, many players will say, what's the point in healing if they always do more damage than I heal anyway? The point in healing, right, is that you should not look at the healing as removing the damage. Do not look at the healing as removing the damage. Look at the healing as reducing the damage you take next turn. Because let's say I heal the Vestal for 5 points of damage now, and then she gets shot for 7 points of damage next turn. And now then she'll have 2 points of life less than she has currently. But guess what? I've essentially reduced the incoming damage by 5 and just reduced the incoming damage to 2. So that's one way to look at damage. And healing. Another way to look at damage and healing is that most importantly, the only healing that really matters is the healing that keeps a hero off death's door. Now, because we're all lightly wounded, I'm going to go with the Divine Comfort party-wide healing here.
Compassion is a rarity in the fevered pitch of battle.
Remember what I said about reducing the damage she was about to take? I feel vindicated. Let's fire a pistol shot at this arbalist. He must be put down!
Their formation is broken. Maintain the offensive.
Oh, you beauty! Can't keep that up for long. Now I'm going to venom this one and not that one because I can possibly stun this one. This one, his stun resistance is quite high now, so I'm looking at damaging it this turn. And while that's not a lot of damage, the damage over time is actually another thing. Also, removing damage over time, you can try and heal through it, or you can just remove it with condition removal skills. And condition removal skills, which might not look like healing, are actually big healing because they prevent a lot of damage. For now though, single target heal, because poor little Velia is getting rather beat up there. I could go for a stun. Hang on, Zealous Accusation. He's going to be taking 4. Now this is 3 to 7. This could potentially get us a kill. So I'm going for a kill or a stun. I don't know if they can reach rank 3. They can reach rank 3. I've seen him do it. Stun. And he resists for stun. Ooh. And we've only got that. Oh, wow!
Your terrible assault cannot be left unanswered.
Okay. I know it's possible for heroes to die in the starting dungeon, but it doesn't really happen very often, and Death's Door is pretty rare. So, Death's Door. When a hero is reduced to absolutely no health, they are at Death's Door. While in this state, they will suffer stat penalties, plus any further damage has a chance to kill them. Heal them to get off Death's Door. Absolutely, we shall do that. Yikes. Noxious Blast on this one.
Continue the onslaught.
Please don't die before I get a chance to hit.
Destroy them all.
I would say it's Sod's Law, but I just have a knack for knowing when the really bad, unlucky things like that are going to happen. We got some treasure, and our priestess will visit this holy fountain and pour some holy water into the font. This restores a significant amount of health. Unfortunately, she still has the Death's Door debuff and will have it until the end of the quest. There are a couple of camping skills in the game that can remove Death's Door. Death's Door debuff is really, 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 really bad. Okay? It's really bad. So, she's going to eat a little bit of food as well. Ow! That was rough. Maybe the Crimson Court is... So I have a theory the Crimson Court is like rather high-end difficulty, so I want to delay making excursions into it for as long as possible until I feel comfortable to go into it, right? And I'm not comfortable yet. You know, this is week 1. At the end of this week, when we get back to town, there's a trap! So traps can happen. Sometimes you see traps and you can disarm them, sometimes you don't see them, and traps attack the heroes. He didn't take any damage this time, that's fortunate. Alright. This is a trap. I will not be going back that way because I've already explored that room. So, explore rooms. I now know what this room is on the map, but to explore it I must enter it and it must light up like these rooms here, and have a great big tick on it. Or check mark if you are American, although it's a tick. Come on, guys. I mean, what, you have to check that it's there to I don't understand. 2 nations divided by a common language.
A fortune, waiting to be spent.
Hunger. Sometimes heroes grow hungry. The exertions of adventuring have produced a growing hunger amongst the party, a gnawing hunger, if you will. I can feed them, or let them go hungry. I'm going to feed them because I've got an insane amount of food at the moment for such a short dungeon in the ruins. Let them eat bread and cheese and some kind of gruel, whatever they got there.
A momentary abatement.
Indeed. Let us enter this chamber. Our quest is at an end. We shall return to the hamlet, where I will make sure I upgrade the stagecoach, and then I'll probably take a break and end the episode and pick it up in a bit. Take a break, let my voice recover, because I've been talking quite a bit as well, Okay. Well, back to town we go. But first we'll get to see our rewards screens. So, we have quest reward, total value of all the treasure we lugged back, some crests, which are, again used for improving the town, a blight stone. The blight stone makes blight skills more effective, speed penalty, okay, and, busts are useful as well. They'll all come in useful for upgrading the hamlet over time. Experience is gained. All the heroes are now resolve level 1. And new quirks have been acquired. Okay, Cove Scrounger. Okay, better scouting chance in the Cove. Thanatophobia, of course, Thanatos being Greek for death, or spirit of death. So he gets more stress if he's badly hurt, because he's scared of dying. Evasive. For a highwayman, that's worth locking in. But I will definitely try and keep that as long as possible. Velia didn't get any new quirks, so that's interesting in itself. And Fennel, Unholy Slayer! If she's going to go to the ruins a lot, Unholy Slayer is quite good. However, the Plague Doctor is equally good in most districts, with her ability to either blight things down or to remove bleed or blight from party members and remove diseases. So, different things for different areas.
In time, you will know the tragic extent of my failings.
Severe negative quirks. Oh, already? Over time, some negative quirks will lock in place and become severe. Severe negative quirks cost much more to remove in the sanitarium. My throat's getting really dry, guys. Okay, week 2. The tavern is now unlocked and the abbey is now unlocked. And we've successfully completed our first foray into the ruins together. What became permanent? Oh, known cheat, yeah. He's got a reputation for cheating, they ain't gonna let him gamble much. Why did she come off the roster? That's interesting. Right, oh, and Phangophobia. Fear of bright lights, okay, yeah. Alright. We have the tavern, and the abbey. And a stagecoach to upgrade. Alright. I will upgrade the stagecoach network so that more heroes can come.
More arrive, foolishly seeking fortune and glory in this domain of the damned.
So next week we shall have 3 heroes arriving instead of 2. And I shall upgrade the hero barracks, which might seem wasteful now, but it'll be worth it in the long run. Alright, new heroes. We have a Hellion and a Houndmaster. I'll decide if I'm going to recruit them next time. I probably won't recruit the Houndmaster, but I'll explain that next time. Let's go and take a look at the tavern, where heroes can spend time recovering from stressful activities. Districts are still locked.
Fresh kegs, cards, and curtained rooms promise solace to the weary and broken alike.
So, stress relief. Heroes relieve stress by taking part in activities at the tavern and abbey. Each activity has different side effects. Experiment to find the best activity for each hero depending on their quirks. Committing a hero to an activity locks them in that activity until the next week. You'll have to take a different hero with you on your next quest. Technically you can pull them out again, but you don't get a refund. And here we have the Caretaker, who occupies a different stress relief activity every week. Damn him. Damn his eyes. I still think he's the ancestor in disguise. Or at least his high priest, or some kind of high-ranking cultist, or something. Or maybe he has just gone completely mad, trying to cope with the terrible state of the place and, put on some fake glasses to disguise himself. Let's upgrade the bar. Some of our heroes like getting totally sloshed.
All manner of diversion and dalliance await those who cross the threshold with coin in hand.
And now let's take a look at the Abbey. Now we do have these shortcut buttons down the side, but I'm not going to make use of them just yet, because I like zooming out again, seeing the whole town, deciding what I'm going to go for, and go, oh yeah, this is the only one I can actually click on that I haven't done anything with yet. So, the Abbey it is!
The cobwebs have been dusted, the pews set straight. The Abbey calls to the faithful.
And we shall upgrade the cloister once. Slow and steady. Strong and stable. The town shall grow in time. Maybe, in theory, little bit by little bit, inch by inch.
A man in a robe, claiming communion with the divine. Madness.
So there we have it. That's where I'm going to leave this first episode. I hope you've all enjoyed it. And I'll take a bit of a break before recording the next one. I'll get this uploaded, but it's going to take a while because I'm, out in the middle of the forest, in the middle of the woods. Is it forest or wood? Technically it is a forest because there are deer which the king used to hunt. So yeah, that's the main distinction between a forest and a wood, is that in a forest there are deer for hunting, in a wood there aren't deer for hunting. Hey, hunting, I don't approve of hunting, it's just interesting little linguistic quirks, So anyway, see you all next time. Hope you've enjoyed yourselves. I'll say bye-bye for now. Cheerio!